Hello everyone and welcome to another Red Gaming Tech gaming news video with myself, Amata, here on the 6th of March. I have more Thief 4 news for you today. Some of you may have seen the screenshots which have been floating around on pretty much all the major websites, and Game Informer now has a comprehensive preview of the newly announced game, which of course has our hero Garrett, and it has a ton of information about the AI, the gameplay mechanics and so forth. So basically it gives you quite a good idea of what sort of game we can be expecting from Thief 4. So many thanks to Game Informer for this information. Anyway, I'm going to just go through all the points and then I'm going to discuss a few that I find interesting. So, let's start off with the AI. Garrett is not a fighter. Fighting against 4 or more guards in combat won't go well. Guards and other NPCs are aware of the level design, so they know where a person might try to hide. Guards understand the topography of the level, which areas could be used for hiding. Different NPCs will look for Garrett in different ways. It's rather interesting. I love the sound of that, and I'm sure stealth fans love the sound of it even more. As for gameplay mechanics, navigation beacon shows players where to go. The dev team wants players to explore environments as they see fit, so I would imagine that the paths aren't going to be hyperlinear or anything like that. It's going to be quite open with different paths for different approaches. Multiple entrances and exits in each room, so as I said, that just ties in to the exploration and different approaches element. Multiple options available for stealth approach. Focus mechanic has many uses, including being able to aid Garrett's vision as he navigates through open levels. Focus lights up the screen and highlights pipes you can climb and candles you can put out to make the room darker, so obviously the more well lit a room is, the harder it will be for you to stay hidden. You can upgrade your focus as well. Doing so will give you a bigger radius of things to see. Fingerprints and some gives you hints on which drawers are best to look in. Every drawer is accessible. You can pickpocket, and you can use focus while pickpocketing to slow time and swipe up to three times as many items from others. Can spend money to upgrade supplies and equipment at the end of each mission. Various artifacts are scattered throughout the game levels, and you can use these to decorate Garrett's hideout. Garrett is motivated by the thrill of stealing some things that others can't take, so he enjoys a challenge, shall we say. Focus will show a number of attack points on enemies. Can select a point like the chest to do a quick push that will buy him some more time to dash off into the shadows. You can also string together a number of points to perform a more debilitating attack. Team is trying to find a balance between making combat enjoyable and allowing players to enter combat if they want, and major mechanics are in place, but they don't actually give detail here on what those mechanics might be. I'm guessing they're referring to the focus mechanic mainly. Anyway, we've got some tools here for Garrett's arsenal. The blackjack can be used when sneaking up behind guards to knock them unconscious. Bow, powerful, can be used outside of combat, e.g. fire at bottle in another room to lure a guard away, trigger a switch to lock the guard inside. Specialty arrows, different uses. Dry ice arrow can be used to snuff flames from far away. Smoke starter arrow, cover and a distraction. Claw, grapple attaches to certain points. So Garrett has quite a few tools in his arsenal to basically distract guards and maybe even take them out from a distance as well. I'm sure that it was going to be taken consideration as well. And some general points here. Garrett's design was made by game director Nicholas Cantin, and Garrett's scar represents that his past has left long-lasting effects on his life. Eidos being vague about how faithful the team has remained to the original Thief lore, which is not exactly promising, shall we say. I'm sure many hardcore Thief fans are going to want them to keep the older games in mind, but we shall see. Many of the series' magical elements will be toned down, and Eidos Montreal compares game development to a high-speed train collision between art and technology, so that's a bit of a box art blurb, to be honest. Not sure if that actually means anything. The staff experimented featuring a new character, making it a third-person game involving either tactical gameplay or environmental clambering like Assassin's Creed. And at one point in development, the game had so many third-person transitions that the constant camera shifting was making people sick. Many experiments during the first year's development. So, although a lot of these experiments sound like they're definitely not going to be put into the final product, it's always nice to see when a development team is actually experimenting a little with the formula, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. You know, that's how good games are made. That's how new IP, that's how interesting ideas that come out just by someone saying, hey, this might sound crazy, but let's try this. And they don't always work, sure, you know. science and experimentation does sometimes blow up in your face, but sometimes it gives you something glorious, and it's nice to see there's not just kind of going, oh yeah, we can just put this in, yeah, let's stick to the old formula. No, it's nice to see that they're experimenting a little, but I'm sure people will want them to not experiment too much with the game, as obviously the Thief series is considered a classic, especially to stealth fans. I personally have never played any of the Thief games, but that's really because stealth is not really my cup of tea. But I think I'm going to be giving this one a go, because it actually sounds like my kind of stealth game, where there's many options to approach a target, and you wouldn't necessarily get an instant failure for being spotted, although obviously that's not really the optimal way. I'm not really a fan of games where, you're really harshly penalised, and it's nice to know that you can fight if you need to, but it's not really optimal. I do like several of the things mentioned here in this news video, such as but mostly how open this game sounds. Obviously how open it's actually going to be remains to be seen until the actual game comes out, which by the way will be on PC, PS4 and other next-gen platforms in 2014. So not going to be a PS4 launch title or anything like that, but it's nice to see that they're going to be launching it on the next-gen consoles and maybe giving it basically a graphical shine as well. I'd be very curious to see what old school fans of the Thief series think, and what your opinions are on the details I've given here. Do you have any concerns? Do you have any mechanics that you feel, hang on, that isn't what the Thief series is about? Or is there something they're just missing? Or are you pretty happy with it? It'd be nice to hear the opinion of someone who has actually experienced the Thief games. Like I said, I most likely will be taking a look at this at some point. But obviously it's not even due out for a while, so we've got a while to go before you're going to see RGT plays Thief 4 and things like that. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. As I said earlier, please do hit me up with any comments and thoughts on this particular topic. It's always good to hear from you guys. And give us a like and a share if you haven't done so already. It really does help. I know every YouTuber ever says this, but that's because it's true. Even a quick share on your Facebook or what have you really does help get our name out there and just, spread the RGT love. Anyway, enough of all that. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.